straight out to Jim Spellman, CNN correspondent, Kansas City. He's there at the Irwin home. Jim Spellman, thank you for being with us. Cops have swooped back down on the family home, the so-called crime scene, pursuant to a search warrant. It's my understanding that in the past, the family allowed them in with consent. In other words, the cops don't have to get a search warrant if you let them come in. This time, they're coming into the home with a search warrant, and also the family has been booted. They cannot come back into the home, according to police, for as long as it takes. What do you know, Jim Spellman?
That's right. As soon as this search warrant was issued Tuesday night, police showed up here, 2 or 3 cars at a time, barring access from the family into Baby Lisa's home. Today, investigators are here. Local police, as well as the FBI, CSI units are in the house investigating. They say that it's not based on new tip. They say that they're doing due diligence. But Nancy, this is a much different kind of search than we've seen from the consensual searches when police have entered in the last week or so.
Jim Spellman, why are they dressed in moon suits? I can see that. Well, why are they dressed like that? What's happening?
Well, we're not sure, but this is a totally different kind of team that we've seen go in the past. In the past, we've seen some uniformed officers and some plainclothes detective types go in, including one time with dogs, but they've really ramped up this search. They have the whole CSI van with them here, and like you said, in the moon suits. They're clearly doing a different level of search than they've done in the past. We don't know exactly what they're looking for, but we know it must be key to the investigation if they need to get a search warrant for it, and it's not something they found on their previous consensual searches.
We are taking your calls quickly to Steve Cardian, former police detective, self-defense expert, lead instructor at Defend University. Steve, the suits that police are wearing this time, those are most likely real-life CSI, crime scene investigators. Let's see those shots, Dana, please. It looks as if they are going in now for forensic evidence that they fear they may have missed the first time. I'm talking about microscopic evidence, possibly using luminol, looking for other fingerprints, for hair, for fiber. When I say fiber, I mean carpet fiber, clothing fiber, looking at the baby's crib on the inside to see if any fiber from the abductor's clothes were in the crib, on the sheets, on the blankets. Steve Cardian, I know that there was I think a Barney, a stuffed dinosaur in the crib with the baby. They may be looking at that. They may be looking for things beyond the naked eye. What do you make of it, Cardian?
Well, a professional CSI team is going to go in with the suit so as not to contaminate the evidence that may be there. They're going to go through that house with a fine-tooth comb. They are looking for any evidence that someone forcibly entered that house. They are looking for hair and fiber evidence. They're going to be looking for DNA and fingerprints that may show that someone was inside that house that is not related to the family. And they're going to go through it with a fine-tooth comb. The FBI has many options at their fingertips as opposed to local law enforcement. So it's a good thing that they're involved. I think that it's going to be
right about that,
the
Steve Cardian. Back to Jim Spellman joining us outside the family home. You're seeing behind him the spot where cops went in and out and in and out of that front window of the home. Also behind him, you see the neighborhood, a quiet family residential area. Nothing like this has ever happened there before. Jim Spellman, I'm a little twisted up on this. What am I hearing, that the parents haven't spoken in depth to the cops since October 8th?
That's right, 11 days now. You know, investigators really want to be able to question them freely, not only for what happened that night, but they've gotten over 550 credible tips. Every one of those they want to be able to run by the family, see if that lines up somehow with someone they may know, someplace they may have been. Without that cooperation, police here are getting more frustrated every day as they operate in the dark sometimes, doing searches without information from the family that could have been, you know, eliminated, even having to do them if they could just speak free with the family. That's a growing divide, and it's gotten a little more serious even since this new attorney, Joe Tacopino, is on the scene. He insists they want to cooperate, but they still aren't talking, and nor are the 2 boys, the half-brothers of baby Lisa that were in the home that night. Family refuses to to allow them to be re-interviewed either, Nancy.
You know what? That's another interesting point, Jim Spellman, that now the mom and dad are refusing to allow the children to speak to cops anymore. They've had one interview with police, is my understanding. And we also have learned that at one juncture, the two boys said they heard noises that night. A lot is getting redefined, refocused in this case. We understand Mommy now says she had at least 5 glasses of wine that night. Remember, she bought a big honking box of wine at the grocery store. Let's see that video, Dana. Ramp it up for me. Around 5 p.m. We now have Mommy changing her story, saying that she now saw the child last at 6:30 p.m., not 10:30 p.m. That loses us 4 critical hours in the search for baby Lisa.